Here is a reminder. Practice the positive mind of saying yes to whatever anyone says. He who cultivates a positive mindset performs better in the face of challenge. Discriminating minds occur in units of 3. Among the discriminations in our minds, some occur every 3 seconds, some every 3 minutes, some every 30 minutes, 3 hours, 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months, or 300 years. There are even discriminations that occur every 3,000 years. If you miss your chance to surrender a discrimination that occurs every 3,000 years, your enlightenment gets delayed for another 3,000 years. Losing the chance to purify from one's mind an inner discrimination that occurs only every 300 years is also a terrible mistake. You should always be mindful, lest you lose your chance to surrender to Buddha the precious offerings that arise only once every couple of lifetimes. The essence and the life of a practice is not losing the chance to surrender the discriminations, which arise and sink in units of 3. When a thought arises, you have one more thing to cleanse from your mind. For if you do not cleanse that thought now, you will have to do it in your next life. While I was training at Sosa, every time I was wrestling with the karmic hindrance that had arisen in me, my teacher would admonish me, saying, "If you do not surrender it now, it will be a burden in your next life." In other words, if I surrendered it instead, it would become the job of this life. He was telling us to solve the one great aim of becoming enlightened in this very life. See your own face and surrender your faults. Buddha's eyes are called the eyes of the blue lotus. It is said that if your mentality is that of forgiving others' flaws as if they were your own flaws, and of disclosing your flaws as if they were others' flaws, then your eyes will look like those of Buddha, wherein the mirror of the eye seems slightly closed and the ends seem slightly open. On the other hand, if your mind is full of the desire to find others' faults, your eyes will be as round as jawbreaker candies, just like a cat's eyes when it is trying to find a mouse. There are many theories about how one's mentality influences one's physical attributes. It is said, for instance, that if a person has a sharp nose line, his mind is like the sharp edge of a sword. Thus, if he intends to strike someone down and fails to do so, his mind will hit himself back, causing him, in many cases, to have bad lungs. A person with a less forgiving mind is said to have a narrow space between his eyebrows. Such a person should use his mind more gently and generously and practice a forgiving and understanding mind toward others. Moreover, a person with the high cheekbones is said to be opinionated. A person with a straight nose bridge is said to have an honest personality. A person who is cross-eyed is said to have a hard time concentrating his or her mind on one thing. Someone whose face is very dark is said to be very greedy, and so on. The facial features come from the skull features, and the skull features come from the mind's features. In order for your facial features to change, the way you use your mind should change. In the end, people advertise, "I live my life this way," with their faces. By the time we reach age 27, through regeneration, even our brain cells have changed, and we have completely different bodies than the ones our parents gave us. We have become totally independent of our parents. Therefore, our faces after 27 are not our parents' fault. The way we use our minds continues the building of our faces.